What's up, guys? So this is gonna be the first mod that I actually do a video on the Exploder project. So I went and got this cluster out of a '01, I think it was, Sport Trac in my junkyard, and all I did was find a cluster out of a Sport Trac that the mileage was somewhat close to mine. This one is basically 10,000 miles under mine, so I'll just make a note of that whenever I put it in, like, hey, it's got 10,000 more miles than what is actually on the dash cluster. So in my opinion, this looks a whole lot better and looks more up to date than the old school black and white one that's in the Explorers and Rangers. What I'm also gonna fix inside of this conversion is my shift indicator is broken in my Explorer, so I made sure when I pulled it that it had a good shift indicator part. This white plastic piece is basically broken on my current dash cluster. What I'm also going to do is, while I've got it out and I'm in here, I'm going to convert all of them to LEDs, and I will put a link in the description of the LEDs that I used, and I'm going to show you how to change the LEDs while we got it out. So what we're going to do, and I got one of them out right now, this one over here. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 black ones are what lights up the dash cluster. And a lot of times, depending on how old your vehicle is, the bulb will be burnt out and you have like dark spots whenever you cut on the lights at night. Maybe like this corner or that corner will be like burnt out, so you won't be able to see your whole dash. So while I'm in here and got it out, I'm about to replace all of them with LEDs that you see right here. But all you do is turn it counterclockwise, clockwise when you're putting it in. So I'm going to turn this clockwise till it clicks. Be gentle with it. This is pretty fragile, the back of it, but I'm going to show you on this one. So we got this in here, and a lot of these, if they've never been touched, they might be kind of stuck in there. So you have to use a little bit of force. Anyways, I'm just going to, boom, pop it, take it out. Now you see we got an actual bulb. Go take the bulb out. So I've taken the bulb out, and I'm going to take the other end of the LED and put it in where the bulb was at. Sorry guys, I'm trying to do this with one hand. So, boom. Now the thing about the LEDs is that they are polarity sensitive. So if you don't put them in the right way, it's not going to light up. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put them all in any kind of way, and whenever I hook it up to the dash, I'll be able to see which ones are not lit completely up. And before I actually put the whole dash back together, I'm going to check it, and I'll just pull it and flip the other ones so that they'll work then. If it don't work one way, you can only flip it one other way and it'll work. So we're going to get this one back in. Click, boom. I'm going to do the same thing with all the rest of them. Alright, so I got all the bulbs in, but to get to the dash, to start off, you're going to have to take this off. There's these two star bolts that you can either use a 7mm on, or you can use a T20 hex. Gotta go in here, and you can use this to take it off. And then there's also two more other star bolts up under your hood latch release. So I'm gonna take those off, and I'm gonna show y'all the other bolts to take off. Alright, so now that we got the star bolts off, and once you get all the star bolts off, all you're gonna do, the back of this, it has these, you're just gonna pull it out. As soon as you get the two bolts on the outside and the two on the hood latch, you're just gonna use some panel prying force right up here and pull this out. So now you're gonna have to take out 5 8mm bolts, and then we're gonna take this off, and then that's gonna open up to where we can actually see where the shift indicator catches, and then we'll be closer to actually taking out the whole cluster. Alright, so now we got that out the way. The next thing you're gonna do, there's gonna be 2 7mm up under here. You're gonna take those two out, and then you're gonna use some prying pressure on the panel. We're just gonna scoot this to the side. So now you see we got this gap where the dash is. And we're gonna get these 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 7mm that actually hold the dash in off real quick. Alright, now that you got all the 7mm bolts out, what you're going to want to do is to set your parking brake all the way down. So I set my parking brake, and then I'm going to put this all the way into first gear so that I have room to pop the dash out. And just like before, the dash is going to come out with panel pressure. If you really want to be extra careful while you're doing this, don't use too much force, you don't want to break anything. As long as you actually got this out, this should all come out relatively easy. Now the next thing we're going to do, there's 2 wiring harnesses back here. One for your headlights and then one for the dimmers. I'm about to unplug those, and then while I'm at it, I actually got another dimmer switch to put in there. So I'll do that real quick. So yeah, once you remove these 2 harnesses that are right behind the dash, this will just straight up pull out. There won't be anything else connected to it. So then what you're going to do to finally get to the cluster is you got 1, 2, and then 3 and 4 7mm bolts that you need to go ahead and take out. So I'm going to do that right now. Alright guys, so right here is a 5.5mm. It's a really weird bolt compared to all the rest of them. You're just going to unscrew this 5.5mm, and then let's see if I can get a shot of it. then right here where this little brass cable is, you're gonna unhook that, and then this whole cable will go back up into where the cluster is at, and then you can take out the whole cluster. Alright, so yeah guys, I got the whole dash out, and you can see that's the cluster that I'm going to put in, and there's the old cluster. Both of them got the same thing pretty much going on in the back, so this should work. Everything that I read, these are interchangeable. So I'm about to put in this new cluster with the LEDs in the back already, and make sure the LEDs are actually on and working with the key in before I put everything all back together. So now all that I've done to make sure that everything is working right before I put it together, I hook these back up into the harness. I turn the dimmer all the way up and turn my lights on. And now, when I turn on the key, for one, I can see all the regular lights come on. And then I can see in the back that the LEDs are actually all illuminated, and if they weren't, then I would just go ahead and pull whichever one wasn't and flip it so that the polarity was right. So yeah, now you can see in my Ford Explorer, and got a Sport Trac cluster, which looks way better to me. Obviously, all you do after you get it hooked up is put everything back in the opposite order. Adjust your shift indicator on the bottom. All you do is spin the wheel until it's lined up the way it's supposed to be lined up. And yeah. Next, I got to do this steering wheel. The alignment is completely off. I got a brand new steering wheel that I got from the junkyard. I'll show y'all how to put in the steering wheel and get that all straightened out. But anyways, guys, hope you like this mod. Peace.